Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and load this graph we just made, the dynamo ellipse offset, into a project. So I'm going to go to File, New, Project. I use the Imperial Architectural Template. And the first thing I'm going to do is on my floor plan level 1, I'm just going to go into my wall command and create an ellipse wall. So I'll just make one that's 40 by 20. And I'm going to go ahead and create a model line that gives me the midpoint of this. So if I go to architecture, there's a model line command and it will pick the quadrant. So you can come in and you can pick the top or the bottom quadrant. I'm just going to pick the interior and come down here and pick the interior. So I've got a model line now that sort of gives me the center of that. So now I can go back to my family that I created and I can load that into project. So I'm just going to load it into project and I'm just going to pick the midpoint of that model line. And it's going to yell at me and say, I can't see what you just put in there. And you're like, okay, go to 3D. And it wants to place another one, so I'm hit escape a couple of times. You can see it's put it on the ground and it's growing down. So it can't see it on level 1 because it's not looking far enough to see it. But what you can do is you can just pick this guy from level 1 and offset it 9 feet. Right, so now that guy is at 9 feet, and then the only other thing we have to do is sort of adjust how big it is, right? And we need to do that in the family. So I'm going to come back to my family here, and I'm going to make sure that it's current, and then I'm going to come in and I'm going to change this to 20 because this is representative of the small radius. And if I change that to 20 and I come down here and go to run, it's going to change the dimensions of that guy to 20, and I can now load that into project and overwrite the existing version. And if I go to my ceiling plan and turn it from coarse to medium, you'll see now that that guy is the size sort of that I want it to be. But if I go to wireframe, it's actually going all the way to the edge, right? Because it's doing the 20. So you can actually come in, and if I go back again to my family, I can do this to 18, right? Like subtract the 2 feet. So if I go to 18 and run it, I can then load it into project, overwrite the existing version. Now to just close this level 1 down so it goes automatically to the ceiling plan. And now you can see the ceiling plan is missing that last one on the end. So you can come in and adjust it however you want. So if I came in here and I wanted this guy to only be at 1 foot increments, right? I could change that step to 1 and then run it, and it'll go from 1 to 18, right? It'll just have double the amount, and I can load that into project, overwrite the existing version, and it'll do that, but it's still offsetting that 2 feet. So if I didn't want it to offset the 2 feet, I'd come in here to 19, update that, and I have to be in the family for it to be able to run it. So I have to make sure that that's current. And then I load it into project, overwrite the existing version, and you get that other loop in there. So I kind of prefer this version to the one where you do it in the project, but I'll show you how you can do it in the project as well. The flexibility with this one is that once you get it in here, you can just move it around however you want, right? Like you don't have to really worry about it. All you really need to be able to do, like I did in the first part, is that on level 1, I made sure I could pick that center line, to get it centered on that guy. All right, so I'll come back and I'll show you how to do it in the project.